Lame duck in the year ahead. And then you mentioned the 2025 elections across all of Germany. What do you think the impact of these regional elections will be? And will it affect the way that the center, center left, and left coalitions present themselves to German voters?
It will most certainly have an effect on the national elections. First of all, it is to be expected the governing coalition of Olaf Scholz will really struggle to remain in power. We see that the Conservatives, Angela Merkel's former party, is much more popular and they're much more likely to win the elections as of now. But what we also see is that the left-wing populists and the right-wing extremists really make it so difficult to build a coalition in Germany. And in contrast to the United States, where you don't need to build a coalition, this coalition building is so important. If you have too many parties and too many of the smaller all parties are small parties with a significant vote share, it becomes incredibly difficult to build a working coalition. And that is a challenge that we will also see in the next elections, and we will continue to see in the regional elections, to the extent that even left-wing populists and conservatives have to build a coalition even though they have nothing in common, just to avoid that the extreme AfD, the extreme right-wing party, becomes to power, because that's a lesson of German history. No one wants to see the right-wing AfD in power in Germany, not on a regional level and most certainly not on a federal level.
That's interesting. Is there a parallel to what just happened in the French elections and the snap elections, but in terms of how the parties shook out there and in Germany?
Yeah, interestingly, the French are much more open to these surprise elections. That's not something that German voters really appreciate. German voters want to have stability. They don't want a sudden election in 3 weeks, which is one of the reasons why the current governing coalition of Olaf Scholz might actually survive, because German voters don't appreciate early elections, and no one in the German political system has the courage to do the kind of political gambling that Macron did.
Right-wing